Hey, you guys. All right, I see you guys are starting to filter in here. Yeah, what a storm coming in here. No sound yet? No sound. Okay, let's see here what's going on. Test, test, test. Audio test. Okay, you guys got me now. Okay. I can see you guys' chat coming in here. I hope you guys can see me now. Okay. Yeah, it's always tricky when you see, oh, there's no sound at first. All right, we got a lot of people in here already. Okay, so yeah, it'll be interesting to see how many people from California check in. Looks like we're getting some decent rain here across the Seattle area also. You can kind of see the system moving up to the Pacific Northwest. Cold trough up here. A lot of subtropical moisture. And yeah, I mean, it's been interesting watching all this rainfall across California here. This is a Fresno Doppler here, and you guys probably saw or heard about that storm kind of moving through down there, or at least that thunderstorm. Had a severe thunderstorm out there, had a tornado warning on it for a while. A lot of hail associated with it. Here it goes on the Doppler. See how that thing turned right here? And you can see it, then it kind of gusted out there, and it's probably got a lot of hail and lightning with it still. You can kind of see the outflow winds actually kind of moving down across Hanford there. But yeah, this persistent rainfall, you guys, is just incredible. I mean, it's just the last thing we needed, waiting for another significant atmospheric river rolling in here. This is pretty nuts. So here's the combination of Dopplers here. And it's just been this, this moist atmosphere just continues to move and upslopes into the terrain here and just continues to drop precip along a lot of the foothills, and it's impacting some of the coastal areas now up north. But it's just been this persistent action going on, and then we just can't shake it here. And then we've got an atmospheric river bearing down on the state here coming up as well. A wider look at things here. Let's play that one. Yeah, you can see all the winter weather advisories and winter storm warnings up and down the west coast here also with these systems moving in. Okay, let's see. Brad Ward is here. That's good. All right, we got a moderator in here. Very nice. Yeah, it's kind of small right now. So the camera used to be zoomed in, and then now it's zoomed out because it's doing some kind of face recognition to log me into the computer. So I got to take that off because every time I bring the program back up, it zooms me way out. So I guess we'll just deal with it today, and then I'll fix it probably in the next day or so. But yeah, here goes the system right here. This is the one coming for California, the one that everybody's been talking about here. And it's not that it's such an exceptionally unusual storm. It's just that things are so primed across the state. I mean, take a look at this. There is just huge amounts of water. This is in inches. Some places have 8 feet of water, just potential energy stored up into the Sierra Nevada here. So you can imagine 8 feet of water, 90 plus inches for a lot of these areas. A lot of areas up over 50, 60, 70 inches across the Sierra as well. And I think there's one down here across Southern California also here, but there's some pretty good amounts. And this was an interesting tweet earlier from Daniel Swain. If you guys don't follow him and you're in California, you're missing out too. Daniel Swain at Weather Space West. Good follow. Very knowledgeable down there. You can see so California snow water content, the southern area down here south, 247%, not inches. I'm not sure what I was trying to say there, but 247% of normal is the highest ever there. The snow water content has ever been anywhere. Central, north, south, this is it. The south portion there of California has got 247%. That's the highest of any of these ever. Even that winter 82, 83, that epic one there, higher than that. So yeah, follow Daniel Swain there. He's got a lot of good stuff out there as well, especially if you're from California. And we've got this out now too. This Mesoscale precipitation discussion out here for just the continuous heavy rain, another 2 to 4 hours. This was issued a little bit ago here, I think about 7 o'clock, so we're going on a half an hour now or so. Yeah, there's even some strong thunderstorms embedded in there, a lot of lightning, plenty of heavy rain on just, the ground is just totally saturated. There's just nowhere for it to go right now. Hopefully it's filling up those aquifers, if nothing else. Yeah, I'm way back up in there, aren't I? Weather station. Yeah, let's see if Nilo 38 pays us a visit today. He's became a folk hero here of sorts. Welcome everybody. Already got 200 people on here. Nice. Anyway, yeah, just trying to get the word out here. You guys see the National Weather Service Los Angeles today. This is 5 p.m. talking about that significant atmospheric river coming down there as well. And taking a look here, you can see how it trended a little bit further south with some of that slight here as we go through day 3. This will be Tuesday morning on in through Wednesday morning here. And this atmospheric river, of course, how they work. They barge into the state here, and then they kind of pass from north to south across the state, bringing that heavy rain with it. Still some model disagreement here on just how strong this atmospheric river is going to be. There's no good solution, but it's kind of an interesting deal watching this come in here. In fact, I haven't looked at the 18Z European. Let's do that here really quick also. Let's just compare that to the GFS, the 18Z. There we go. Brad Ward gifting memberships. Look at that. Awesome. Jane Blackbird, Stan Smith, Courtney, David, Edgar, Drew. Hello, everybody. So here we go. Now, the atmospheric river is not even here yet, and you've got the 18Z Euro on the left. That's hot off the presses. This is the 18Z GFS here. Putting it into motion, and you'll see the atmospheric river start to come. There it goes out here. Now it's off the coastline here. You see the European is quicker than the GFS was, and it is. And it's got higher precipitation amounts also, at least initially. And then it slams in a little bit further north. Includes the Sierra Nevada. Kind of interesting there how the GFS wants to bring just huge amounts across Southern California here as well. Less amounts on the European here. So this is going to be interesting to see how this unfolds. We got a classic GFS versus European battle here. So this is a European model. The GFS is the global forecast system there. It's an American model there. Is my sound on? Okay. I see people that can hear me, so hopefully it's not. Brad poured one out for his homie Nilo. Now let's see if Nilo makes a visit here for us tonight. This is kind of fun to watch this, the European and the GFS when they're at disagreement like this here. Because that's not a good look for Southern California there, what the GFS is showing there. I'm going to close that one out. National blend of models here. And of course, if anybody had any doubt, more big snows coming for mainly the higher terrain, though. It's going to be the snow levels are still fairly high here, but you're going to pile up that wet, dense snowfall across a lot of the Sierras coming up here. Actually, is this up to date? That is not up to date, is it? Nope, here we go. That's running just now. Let's back up to the 19Z. That was the one that was full. Okay, so... And actually looking at the cross section up there at Mammoth, you could see the freezing level get almost up to 10,000 here by Tuesday afternoon, at least for a bit. Then it crashes back down here. So maybe we'll get a little bit of time to recover here, but there's going to be a lot of impacts after this ends as well. There's probably going to be more levees that get washed out. Yeah, ugly times. And I know some communities are out just downright flooded out right now, and I know they're being warned that they might not be able to return to their homes for quite a while here. So I assume more of that's going to happen as we go here as well. Sound is on here. Garrett Hartung is in the house. Hello from BC, Canada. Justice for Nilo. Nilo won one of the weather station drawings, and we counted him down, and basically he didn't come back to claim it in time, but then he came back just like a few minutes after we gave away his station. So yeah, that became a rallying cry to try to get him. Yeah, so he was basically kind of a folk hero on the last live stream there. He was supposed to win a weather station, and he was not actively in the chat, so he moved on, and then he showed up. So he became a fan favorite pretty quick. So this is a wider look at things here. We look at this sometimes too. If you guys are watching the videos and stuff, you can see actually getting some good precipitable water all the way up to the Pacific Northwest too. You know, it's raining pretty good out there right now across some portions up towards Western Washington, Oregon right now as well. And you can see California really never got a break from the moist southwest flow that's been just continuing the rains here. And then you see the GFS on the right, the European on the left. Notice the precipitable water values are higher on the European there. And as it approaches shoreline there, right now, some of these areas across the Sierra on this point at the model run Tuesday morning are up over 400%, the average precipitable water in the atmosphere there versus the GFS. It looks like a stronger storm here. More of this the moisture gets a little bit further north here on the European versus the GFS. But the GFS targets Southern California a little bit better here with this atmospheric river. So interesting differences here. Let's see if they work themselves out tomorrow. Tomorrow we still have basically almost another full day before this system will start rolling into the state here. I want to look at the 18Z control run here really quick as well, because I'm always watching. It's really important to watch for future storms here. There's another system trying to get in here, and it'd be interesting to see how much strength this one has. It doesn't look too bad right now, but we really don't need any precipitation at all across the state there. Anyway, let's see. It depends on how far out forecasts are reliable. In some cases, that you can get good data over a week out. Sometimes, you know, you're going to, if it impacts you directly, you're going to want to watch forecasts as they come out. You don't want to watch a forecast 2 days ago and plan on that being your forecast. For example, you want to update yourself as much as you can, because every single forecast is going to change by a little bit once it comes out. That's why they do area forecast discussions 4 times a day. And you might ask what an area forecast discussion is. And that's basically this. So if we go here, you can see this is the map of the 48. If you click on any one of these individual areas, let's click on, let's do Hanford, California here. If you click on that, you can go to forecast and forecast discussion, and you get all these meteorologists culminating into a forecast product here, and you can read these. And these come out 4 times a day. And if you want to keep up to date on something going on, you want to be paying attention, because every time they update their forecasts here, this goes into like the point and click forecast for the National Weather Service, and the models run 4 times a day. So there's going to be new information coming in all the time. So if it's something that directly affects you, or you're traveling, or you're driving over some higher mountain passes or whatnot, or, you know, some areas that usually get some pretty nasty weather, you want to update yourselves all the time. But you know, you can still get a good idea what's coming a few days in advance now, especially weather models are getting better all the time. Yeah, there's a lot of moisture moving up through Oregon there. Denise B asking about Willamette Valley there. Let's go here. Let's just do Northwest here really quick. Precipitation. Yeah, you can see plenty of moisture to go here. You can see the front finally passing. It looks like tomorrow morning across Western Washington, but kind of hangs out across the Willamette Valley here and across Oregon. Snowfall is going to continue. And then there goes this storm on into California there on the NAM 3KM. And another round of rain for Oregon as well. I mean, this is going to be just ugly. I mean, there's going to be impacts that we are not prepared for and we're not foreseeing at this point. There's going to be some really extreme flooding across the state of California. And I wonder if they're going to upgrade the excessive rainfall outlook to another high risk here. I'm kind of wondering if they're going to do that. Yeah, thanks for all the kind words, everybody. I can see all the chat coming through here. Let's see, who's more accurate, GFS or European? The European is generally more accurate. A lot of times I base my forecast on the European, but then if the GFS shows similar to the European, then it increases my confidence in the European. That's basically how I kind of work, because if you go with the GFS by itself, and you're not comparing that to the European, or if it says something different than the European, you really, you're going to have a hard time forecasting when you're going against the European most of the time. But yeah, that's a pretty impressive storm here. And this is, this is that activity here. Can you guys see that across Central California near Fresno, that supercell that kind of rolled across the area there with all that hail and lightning and heavy rain and tornado warnings? Yeah, what happened to Jonas? Jonas used to come in the chat here, and he's gone now. I don't see a Nilo sighting yet. Thank you for the kind words, Denise. The snow level up into Oregon. Yeah, maybe Nilo was an aberration, a figment of our imagination. So the best way really sometimes to check, like we got high avalanche danger across, look at this, northwest or the North Cascades of Washington here. This does pretty good. It kind of gives you a nice little look at things here. You can see the snow level here, for example, up in the North Cascades, generally around 3,000, 3,500 feet all the way through Monday afternoon, for example. And then if you want to go back, you can click on that and go down towards Mount Hood. And you're probably going to be dealing with a little bit higher down there. Yeah, and it gives you a good snow level map there. Rad Religion. That's an interesting name. Cool. Yep. Thanks for the kind words, everybody. Yeah, let's zoom out a little bit here on the. We do have that excessive rainfall outlook all the way up through western Washington, including the Willamette Valley. That's for today on and through tomorrow. Actually, no, this is from this afternoon all the way through Tuesday morning there. Okay. I don't know if that's a mistake or not, but, and then they took away the day 2 here. Okay. Yeah, there's something going on here with that. Day 3 is there. Is the NCAA tournament coming to Sacramento this week? Is that really happening? I didn't hear that. Yeah, we can let's look up north here. Let's go to, yeah, there's a lot of snow coming for BC. I was looking at that earlier. I might have forgotten to mention that. Well, I might have mentioned it once in today's briefing, but yeah, it's a pretty good, pretty good snow action up there for British Columbia. Kind of a quiet little storm here. That's going to drop some nice amounts there. And then we got this next little weak low kind of sneaking up on us there. Tuesday afternoon swings through. And then maybe we start to build some ridging a little bit, but I'm kind of in wait and see mode for the later on in the week here. It's been so cool here so far this month here that I'm a little gun shy to call for some warmer weather by the end of the week here. But yeah, it looks like some nice snowfall amounts coming for the higher terrain of BC at least. Yeah, they're piling it up out there. Even eastern British Columbia getting on the action as well. "42 inches of rain since Christmas Day. That's more than Seattle gets an entire year. Your car angel." Awesome. Yeah. I mean, you guys have been just tearing it up across the Sierras. You're going to be talking about this for years. You're going to go through these periods now up in the upcoming years where everybody's going to go back. Yeah. The winter of 2023, man. You guys remember that? Probably most will remember it. So Thursday and Saturday in Sacramento. That might be kind of interesting. I guess if they fly them in and just kind of hang around the city there, it might be all right. Trying to catch up on the chat a little bit here. Yeah, the European has a little bit of an edge. It's not a huge edge all the time. And sometimes the GFS does do better over some periods. It's just kind of like a general rule that the European does a little bit better than the GFS, a general average. And if you're in Southern California too, don't sleep on this stuff coming up here. The GFS shows some pretty big impacts down there. Some really heavy rains coming up for Southern California as well. Oh, stand by one guy. Let me silence my phone here. Okay. See what those waves look like with that storm coming in here too. I know that waves were worse in that last system, but it looks like some pretty good wave action coming in Tuesday morning for the Bay Area, Central California through Northern California there. So it's gonna get a bit stormy with this system coming in. That's something I wanted to check here too. I wanted to see the pressure, the strength of the system itself. Let's take a look at that also. It's still pretty powerful little low pressure system moving into, it looks like more like something that would be moving into the Northwest Washington coastline versus Central California. Yeah, look at that little ridge trying to build over the Pacific Northwest there. I could use some nice weather. Good question. How was the winter of 1969 compared to this year's storms? I'm not sure what happened that year, actually. I don't know that have that data off the top of my head. Pittsburgh, California. Interesting. Oh, yeah, I've got some merchandise. Yeah, I should share that with you guys here eventually a little bit more often. I think you can see it in the page here if you go to... It might not even show up in here. If you go to the YouTube channel page, I believe you can see it there. Some of the videos, it should show up right below the video there. And if you guys have requests, you can send them to me on Twitter or you can email me under the email here on the YouTube page, and I can actually make the merchandise for you and stuff. Brian Adams, summer of 69. Nice. I'm going to close out these. Mid-level water vapor loop. Yeah, it's just crazy watching this tropical moisture just not good. My mother remembers the flooding in 1969. Yeah, the hoodie that I'm wearing here is actually, it's one of my favorite hoodies now. It's a fantasy windstorm forecast one that I've got. The quality is really good. They're a little bit pricey, but the quality is really good. I'm very happy with it. Yeah, you can see this little tiny low pressure spinning off that's what's fun about watching some of these satellite images. Sometimes you see these really interesting, and look at some of this little tiny low topped convection here. That's cold air that rides over this relatively warmer ocean here. And you get that little, I mean, these are probably what, maybe 10,000 feet here popping up. But it's almost like a boiling pot here where you get the little bubbles popping up with the warmer water below. Kind of interesting. The water or the air being colder aloft is what causes that. You get that lapse rate, instability there, and you get that little tiny low pressure. I mean, almost looks like a little tiny baby hurricane there. But yeah, there's moisture. There's a pretty good stream of moisture all the way up into southwest BC right now. That's going to continue for a bit also. And then this storm system, not only going to get California, but a lot of this moisture is going to clip Oregon too. It's going to get the Blue Mountains as well. Idaho and Montana is going to pick up some nice snowfall from that also. But I mean, California, the stage is set. And the worst thing about all this is that there's so much water across the Sierra Nevada. And I was showing this one earlier in the chat here. There's so much water that there's going to be probably spring snowmelt type flooding here as we go as well. I still have not mastered this site here yet, but you can see this is water equivalent in inches. So you can see there's up over 7-8 feet of water equivalent in the Sierra Nevada right now. And that's going to mostly, like always, is going to melt off at some point. Hopefully it just doesn't do it all at once here later on in the month, or not too much of it melts here with this next atmospheric river. Pretty interesting stuff here in the Sierra Avalanche Center also. But anyway, I'll close that out. We'll take a look at, I believe the NAM is running right now. I think we might have already looked at this one. Let's see. Nope, we haven't looked at that one yet. So this precipitation there is not even including the atmospheric river yet. This is about 2 a.m. Tuesday. Let's see. So we start getting the first precip. Looks like it's going to be moving on shore probably right around midnight sometime on tomorrow night. And then you'll quickly see those amounts just increase. And the NAM's painting a pretty dire picture for Southern California this round also. Some of the hills above Santa Barbara there. And there's a lot of snow up here, even around Southern California here, and some of the higher terrain there as well. But it's just kind of comical looking at this. I mean, look at this. You can see the max in the bottom right here of 25 inches. And this is only 60 hours out. This is only Wednesday morning, and just some incredible amounts of precip falling. I don't expect 2 feet of water equivalent, but, you know, it's going to be substantial. And you can see a lot of the valley here is not really getting that much. This is going to be the orographic flow here. This atmospheric river is going to run into the terrain, and the higher your elevation here, the more rainfall you're going to get. But these atmospheric rivers, they're fairly shallow, and they get wrung out pretty well when they run into terrain. So as this one runs into the Sierra Nevada here, look what happens on the backside into Nevada. Much less precipitation showing up there. This storm is coming from the tropics. I see Dennis B asking that. Denise B. So there's Hawaii here. Here's California. I'll back out even more here. This is the GOES 18 satellite, the brand new, the most recent one. So you can see the equator down here. Look at all this tropical warm air. And so this atmospheric river kind of marks the boundary between that cold polar air to the north and that much warmer air across the tropics here. That's why they call these storms mid-latitude cyclones. So when this thing spins up off the California coastline here tomorrow, that's going to be called a mid-latitude cyclone. It's just kind of the difference between that colder air and the warmer air. And this transfer of this heat here is basically the never-ending atmospheric circulation. You know, the Earth just can never win. The sun heats the equator more than it does the poles, so you get a thicker atmosphere here and you get more moisture here in the atmosphere, and it just tries to balance itself out. And that's why weather never stops. Yeah, I used to do rain barrels also up here in Seattle until we hit a spring in the backyard, and we've corralled that. But yeah, getting rain barrel water off your roof is really quite rewarding. Yeah, I'm worried about the levee breaks also. I know that there was a substantial one that was broken here, and I know that a lot of other ones are under stress. And there just hasn't been that much of a break for some of the areas, so it's going to be really interesting to see what happens, because I'm just hoping that for some reason it doesn't drop as much precipitation as what the models are showing, because otherwise it's going to be significant, you know, life-threatening flooding for some areas. Pouring rain near Sacramento right now. You must be under that shower right there. There we go. Oh, yeah, look at that. You guys got a lot of heavy rain out there in Sacramento, or East Sacramento now. Rancho Cordova, Citrus Heights. Just outside of Elk Grove there. MHR, I forget what airport that is. I know Brad Ward will know what airport MHR is, right next to Sacramento. Yeah, it seems like water's never where you need it. You know, you want it at times and you don't have access to it, and then all of a sudden it comes, and it comes in waves, and it comes at too much at one time. Mather. Okay. Mather. So Doppler radars are kind of fascinating watching them. You can see how it kind of hits some of the higher terrain around. And sometimes the Doppler beams will even hit like traffic, and you can see freeways and the cars moving on the freeways and whatnot, depending on the tilt of the Doppler radar. They can have a pretty low elevation tilt, and you can actually change it on here too. I forgot how, there it is. You can go to tilt 2. And if I go to tilt 2, you'll notice that it kind of gets away from some of that terrain. It's still clipping some of the higher hills there, and it's catching something there. It's probably catching these rain showers here as they move by. I think that's just a rain shower there. And you can actually go higher. You can tilt to 3. So you can look higher up in the storm. It kind of makes things interesting when you do these Doppler radars. You can actually see, you know, you get a nice 3-dimensional look into the storm if you want. And if you go to composite, can I get composite on here, or I'm not as good with this as I am with radar scope, but if you look at composite reflectivity, it's supposed to show the highest returns within all the tilts as you go up or down. Yeah, the Salinas. That's right, Salinas. I was pronouncing that wrong. Salinas River there. Yeah, that's going to be a problem here coming up soon. Yeah, let's look at that really quick. The drought monitor. I forgot. I have to see when that was last updated here. Let's take a look. Washington drought free. Check that out. But yeah, so this was updated March 7th. We're on 12th now. I think we're going to get another update here in a couple of days. It may be tomorrow even. But yeah, there's probably going to be some improvement to this for tomorrow. But I mean, if you guys remember, this entire area across Central California was in D4, exceptional drought, the worst drought you can get. I mean, this is just a few months ago. And it's out. It's like completely out. It's not even considered abnormally dry anymore. Just truly impressive. There we go. Brad got the Salinas River near Spreckles here. So this is the forecast. Yes, this is what Brad just sent me on the link there. It's supposed to get right up to major flood stage there. This is good stuff here too from the Hydraulic Prediction Service there, another product of the National Weather Service. You can see this is where we are currently. This blue line shows where we are currently. We're in minor flood stage. We're supposed to enter moderate. And by Monday afternoon, just afternoon, yeah, maybe up towards major flood stage. And a lot of times this is not quite accurate. Sometimes it can be underdoing it or slightly overdoing it. You know, this is an imperfect science. You're trying to predict the exact height of this, you know, of these rivers. Citrus Heights, big lightning and thunder. Very nice. Let's do this. Let's go radar scope. Yeah, you can see those lightning flashes there showing up. I mean, where are you guys putting all this water? This is just insane. Everything is totally saturated. You've been getting just doused. And then you get these thunderstorms. Just, I can't imagine. There's probably going to be a lot of effects that aren't really known as well across a lot of the foothill and the higher mountain terrain there, like washouts. You know, once the summertime hits and people are off in the backcountry, there's probably going to be a lot of damage out there. Still pretty strong thunderstorm action going on here down towards Fresno as well. My goodness. Mercy. It's like that part in Braveheart where they're torturing the guy. And it's like, mercy, just stop for a while. Jeez. Los Angeles in the house. Yeah, I mean, it seems like the last 2 days, just this persistent, moderate rain for a lot of the area combined with these thunderstorms that pop up in the afternoon and move into the foothills. It looks like we're in a little bit of a break here now, maybe Western Washington, but it's going to start raining again here. As you can see, more precipitation back here. And it's going to last across Oregon here for a while. We need an Oregon Doppler radar. We need one on the coastline badly. I mean, geez. You can kind of, there's precipitation going on out here and it just does not pick it up. It's kind of, we need to like get Congress involved here and get a Doppler radar on the Oregon coast. Ground mushy here in Northern California. I believe it. The light brown color on the map, was I showing? I'm not sure what that was. Yeah, East Central Oregon, dry as a bone. They are still in D4 out there. That is for sure. I'll have to look into this again. There was some pretty dire wording here. I'll have to research into this again. But there is some exceptional drought still across Oregon. I know there's all kinds of water restrictions going on out there. And it's too bad. Is this the current NAM? It is. So let's look at this again. So you're going to see these waves of precipitation moving in. So yeah, you can see Oregon all through tomorrow morning. Some pretty heavy rain coming tomorrow morning. I mean, that's pretty impressive. Nice frontal system moving through western Oregon there and just continuing to train over like Eugene. And then that storm comes and brings some additional precipitation. Probably going to get all the way up to Oregon there again. But yeah. Big time storm incoming here, folks. And if you're just joining the chat now, it's probably going to start somewhere late Monday night, right around midnight. The precip will start. The heavy stuff starts rolling in early Tuesday morning and continues all day Tuesday. Yeah, and this is Wednesday morning there. Finally starting to relax some, but still going across some of the higher terrain in Southern California at that point. How large of a cost is a Doppler station? Oh, it depends on the power of it as well. I'm not sure. I used to be more in tune with that. I remember I used to do some research into Doppler stations back in like the 90s and the early 2000s when they were more expensive even. But sometimes, like when we go storm chasing out in the plains, you'll see what we call the Dow Doppler on wheels. So you can get mobile Dopplers, but some of the bigger ones are quite expensive. Yeah, like if the one here at Camano Island or Langley, or the one for the Bay Area in Sacramento and Los Angeles, those are the big boys and they cost big bucks. I'm not even sure what they cost anymore. There's a new approved giant reservoir in Northern California getting federal money. Too bad it's not right. Yeah, we could be filling that reservoir right up here with these systems. Next weekend at Southern California, it's hard to say. I mean, but it looks like there should be some kind of a relaxed period coming here. So let's do this. Let's back out a little bit here and we'll go to... So there goes the storm. You can see it barrel into California there. No mercy. Gonna get ugly. But you can see a break is coming here. So it looks like precipitation ends across a lot of the state by the time you get to Wednesday afternoon. And you go on into probably at least until Friday morning before any more precipitation tries to get towards the state here. And then if we bounce out a little bit further, we'll go to the control run of 18Z, and it shows a little bit further out. That next system is falling apart. That's not going to be a big problem for California there. That one's coming in Friday night, but it's falling apart. The next system may be a little stronger, but still, that's not a big time atmospheric river by any means. If we back up to the 12Z that goes out even further, I mean, that's another fairly significant rainfall there, but at least there would be time to dry out somewhat before that came in. And then maybe a colder upper level trough here. This would be more mountain snow, not the really southwest warm atmospheric river type out of that, but that would still keep it active and building up the snowpack here as we go through the end of March on already record levels of water equivalent across a lot of the higher terrain. A new 88D radar cost $1.7 million in 2007, so probably $5+ million or a bit higher today from Garrett Hartung there. Yeah, don't drink that shingle roof rain runoff. Feed it to the plants. They'll love it. So let's look at... Can you spot the next system? There it is. So let's do this. I want to play the 18Z versus the 12Z. Sometimes I like to model the European to itself as well and see if it's kind of trending a certain direction or not. The 18Z trended a little bit slower. You see that slug of moisture not reaching the coast quite as quickly there. Actually a little bit weaker there too, but then when it's kind of strengthening though, maybe as it makes landfall there, it looks like a little bit better values as you go into the Sierra. So not too much of a change, maybe a little bit stronger for Southern Cal. Hard to say there. But then let's hope we get a break after that, because I don't know how the state would fare in another atmospheric river coming down line after that. Justice for Nilo. Where is Nilo? I have not seen Nilo in the house yet. Yeah, there's some truth to that when you talk about Well, let's look at Northern Hemisphere here. And let's see, what should we look at? We'll go to so this is 5,000 feet. This is temperature anomaly here. And you can kind of see how this ebbs and flows. Warm air tries to get itself to the poles. And that cold air likes to spill down and balance things out. Check out across the USA though here coming up. Friday, Saturday, look at that. There's some pretty cold, downright chilly air coming across a lot of the east portions of the USA there. I always like looking at this one. Another one I like to look at is this. I like to go to, actually, if you go to Celsius here, the white line is freezing. And you can just see the general circulation of the Earth. This is surface temperature, about 2 meters. And you can see the warmer equator versus that much chillier North Pole. And you can see the diurnal cycle across Africa as it warms up during the daytime and cools down at night. And when the summertime comes here too, you can see that cycle going pretty well across the southwest USA as it warms up really warm during the day, and you'll see that pulse back and forth. Another way to look at it here is if you go to Oceanic and you go to Pacific Basin Wide View. And you can kind of see it at 5,000 feet, the same thing here. Out, it's warmer across the equator. You can see Australia, New Zealand out there, Hawaii, North America there. It's always kind of fun watching. And, you know, don't forget down here, we're dealing with what? It's late summer or very early fall here across Australia. So you can see how downright warm it gets across Australia still. So it's always fun to look at those maps. Close that out. So there's a couple mesoscale discussions out right now for precipitation, one across the Central Valley and foothills there in Northern California. I think we had somewhat of a stratospheric warming event this winter. I'm not sure how exactly it's translating down yet. I kind of lost track because we got so busy here across California. Did Nilo show up? I see Nilo's name coming up here. My professor who also petitioned for an Oregon Coast radar said the government contractor for radar said they didn't want to use any more radars in case of breakdowns of the ones in use. Adding to the Nilo fund, reflect the sun. Very generous of you. That's $70 to Nilo. Come on, Nilo, show up. There he is. Nilo is in the house. Yes, that's a good question also about... Did Nilo show up earlier? Did I miss it? Oh, there he was. Yep. Oh, I missed it. Okay, I was blabbing too much. So Nilo has asked about the MJO. Now, where did I put it here? I've been... Why is it? It's not letting me view in too much here. So right now, 3rd, 4th, 5th, 6th, 7th, 8th, 9th, 10th, We're in phase 7 and 8 of the Madden-Julian oscillation now, and I should have set this up a little bit better earlier here, but basically this is kind of some convection that's moving across the Pacific Ocean out of the Western Pacific, more towards the Central Pacific Ocean here, and you can see a pretty strong wave. When the MJO is inside the circle here, it's considered weak. When it gets outside of the circle here, it's considered relevant basically at that point, and it becomes, it's actually quite strong right now. It's actually very strong right now. And that's probably what's helping to bring some of this energy all the way across the Pacific towards California here. Okay, what am I missing here? Pervasive Nilo blind. Rain X Fund. Well, yeah, there's a lot of chat coming across here, and I was trying to view everything here. So what should we do for Nilo then here? Super chat from Jim Downey. Okay, sorry, Jim Downey, where are you? Let's see. I see Reflect the Suns there. Jim Downey, thank you. After all Cali's drought, why don't they learn how to harvest this God-given reprieve? Wildfires next week. Yeah, I mean, it's such a tricky situation. I wish I knew more about it, but I know that it's tough to do reservoirs, and then if you set up dams, you can damage the ecology of your environment downstream. And there's a lot of back and forth to it. So I'm not sure exactly, I just know that it's tough to collect a lot of water. And then when you do set up reservoirs and dams, you have to let that, like right now, I know they're releasing some from some of these reservoirs out there. So it's a lot of times you can't really win. Mother Nature just kind of does what she wants. Give him a sweatshirt. Yeah, here. Okay. That's right. Okay, everybody make sure that Nilo gets my email there. I think I sent it to him last chat too, but if you email me and I'll send you a Pacific Northwest Weather Watch hoodie. I'm going to drink some water here, so I'm going to step away. Okay, so yeah, Nilo, email me, Nilo, at that email address, please. So that's right. It's 8. That's another thing about daylight savings time is when you leap forward an hour, now we have to wait an hour longer for these model runs to come in. And now the European won't start running until like 10:47 p.m. It's kind of nice in the winter season because you get in a full hour earlier. I think I heard Neil deGrasse Tyson talking about that desalinization. I think that we can do it. It's just expensive to do it. And apparently it's just not cost effective yet. But when it becomes to that, I think that, it'll probably be done on a much bigger scale. You missed a lot of talk about rainfall, all the happy squirrels. And Nilo's in the chat, so. Okay, Nilo has responded there. I see it. Yeah, we can do it. We can desalinize the water. We just have to, it just needs to be cost effective. As far as what I know, I'm not an expert on that subject by any means. Yeah, because right now I think the GFS would normally start running here, but since we have there's kind of an interesting look at things here. The European is showing the precipitation amounts, and the GFS showing the precipitable water. Looks like we might get a break though after this system, but the problem is getting through this system without too much damage. Vote for Nilo. Anything for Whitefish, Montana? Yeah, let's look up. Let's do this. Look at Southern Oregon. They're sneaking up on us here. Look at some of these precipitation amounts. The Cascades in Oregon getting blasted there too as well. You're going to get some snow, higher terrain off in through Montana there. This is the NAM 3KM, the high resolution model there. Thank you very much, Nilo, for turning people to the channel. Nilo. So let's take a look at that. You can see with that system, I mean, look at this, throws a lot of moisture up over Idaho as well. There's some nice snows coming for the higher terrain of Idaho, Lookout Pass. Western Montana is going to get it pretty well also. Maybe a few inches in there at least, I would imagine. And then the next system also. So you got a couple rounds of snowfall coming out there for Western Montana, Idaho Panhandle, the higher terrain. I know all the eyes are on California, but yeah, it's a pretty decent storm moving through a lot of the Pacific Northwest there. Looks like it totally missed Western Washington, though. You can see that one rolling into California. Just gets maybe the Southern Cascades, Eastern Washington a bit, but really misses Seattle. Yeah, that snow fighting equipment up there on some of the passes is pretty interesting looking up there. I saw some of those machines. Thank you, David, for telling your friends about the channel. So yeah, Nilo, just email me on my email that I gave you there, and I will send you a hoodie. And if you guys want that weather, let's see here. I was pleasantly surprised by that Tempest weather station there. I recommend that if you don't want to spend a whole bunch on a weather station. It's quite nice. The app is really good too. Yeah, that 0Z Euro. I mean, I don't even stay up for it when it comes to daylight savings time because it's like I'll just see it in the morning. But it kind of sucks. Violet Dreams, thank you for the kind words. Let's do this. See what Sacramento is saying now. I still can't believe this. I mean, by 5 p.m. Wednesday, they just like throw 12 feet in there like it's no big deal anymore. Like, no, 12 feet of snow. Here's Monday and Tuesday. If you guys are wondering about that moderate risk for the rain down there, locally higher amounts, over 7 inches for some areas on an already completely saturated surface. So let's see. Let's move over to the Bay Area. Actually, this is Eureka here. Flood watch is in effect. Monday morning through late Tuesday night. Flooding next week. San Francisco. Oh, we got a high wind warning out now. Nice. Coastal hills above 5,000, immediate coastline up to 70 miles per hour. Wow, what a storm. Impressive. Electric Beaver says a tornado that hit Jamestown hit my house. Was this today or was that the one yesterday? All I got was this t-shirt. I can make a Nilo hoodie, like hashtag Nilo strong or something. I'll see if you request that when he emails me. Yeah, cloud seeding is a really tricky situation. It's hard to do it on a massive enough scale to really create big differences. But yeah, if you cloud seed one area, you can really rob another area. It's a tricky situation. Yeah, somebody make us a playlist. Do a playlist. And if you guys haven't seen this too, we're pretty nasty stuff coming for Southern California even as well. Just going over this real quick. Let's see what San Diego has to say. Yeah, they're calling for the big rain totals down there also. Oh, check that out. Look at the National Weather Service San Diego is talking about 1969. Big Bear Lake set a record low for the month of March. -8 Fahrenheit at Big Bear. Oh, yeah. No, I see what you're saying now, Garrett. Yeah, where's your night shift? We've had it. We're doing a thing up here in Seattle where the National Weather Service has been just putting these playlists out instead of like talking about the weather, and it's kind of like becoming a controversial topic. Yeah, we played that song California Love several times on our road trip to California a couple months ago there when we were down there doing the flooding. So let's see. What are they saying? Anything from Medford here? No, there's no graphics up right now. Portland? Seattle? No. Spokane? There we go. Missoula? Missoula, Montana always has some good graphics. Very descriptive. Oh, now Medford's got some out now, so flooding possible. They're talking about it, yeah. Pretty nice rain rolling through southwest Oregon there. Snow forecast. I'm here for the storm. Here, let's do this real quick here. Let's go to... I'll show you guys what we're talking about here. So basically they've been putting these out instead of like weather forecasts and stuff. So here's the time change playlist they put out. And then they put out this for when the guy retired for I mean, I don't know. But they've put out like 3 in the last 3 or 4 days. And they keep doing them. And I don't understand why. I mean, I would think they would put out like a really cool weather graphic instead, or talk about, you know, I don't know. Maybe talk about what kind of snow is coming up for the Cascades, or what the snow normal is, or talk about past weather or something. I don't know. But anyway, that's what we're talking about. It's not a huge deal, but whatever. Yeah, I have to double check my spelling all the time, especially when I'm releasing videos and making thumbnails and stuff. I do not spell well. I don't pay much attention to it, so I have to like really watch myself. I'll misspell things all the time. Central Oregon, rain, snow coming, clear skies now. I mean, Western Oregon's going to get particularly hit hard here. Actually, quite a bit of rain is on its way. You might get some snow east of the Cascades, though, in Oregon. But yeah, if you're just joining the chat here comes that next storm for California there. You can see that moisture pumping all the way up towards southwest BC, including some of Washington, Oregon. When summer rolls around, we're gonna look back at these times fondly, except for the flooding part anyway. That's a good question. Does MTV exist? I'm not sure. Going sturm crazy. So these storms have impacted that snowpack, especially lower elevations, like 5,000 feet and below. It melted a lot of the snow, but the higher elevations really did not. A lot of that snowpack absorbed the water, and so it becomes heavier and denser snowpack. And that's one of the concerns with the flooding coming up here, is that snowpack is much more saturated than it was, at least for the last round. So there could be more runoff due to that fact. And if nothing else, it'll add to that snow load on houses and cabins and businesses out there on the higher terrain. And then also it just sets the stage for later flooding as we go on in through March. That playlist is interesting, question mark. Yes. Is it interesting? I don't know. Here's the current West Coast stuff. A lot of winter weather advisories out there right now as well. Let's see if we click on one of these. Let's see what they're saying. We've got winter storm warnings. So the winter storm warning officially in this location says 5 feet above 8,000 feet, which is huge amounts of snow as it is. But yeah, a lot more snow coming for the very higher terrain. Let's go South Tahoe here and see what it says. 1 to 3 above 7. Sierra Ridge gusts above 100 miles per hour, and wave heights 2 to 5 feet on Lake Tahoe by Monday night and Tuesday. That's pretty nuts. 5 feet doesn't sound like a big wave when you're dealing with the ocean, but when you're dealing with a lake, it can really mess things up. And 100-mile-per-hour gust. Nice. Very impressive. Here's I-80, Truckee. Same thing here, calling for the same thing. That must be the same thing I clicked on there. Let's take a look a little bit further north. One to 2 above 6,000 feet. 2 inches, including around Susanville. Been through there a few times. Yosemite, let's check the Yosemite here. 5,000 above 8,000 feet, 1 to 3 feet above 6,000. Yeah, I-80 is going to get blasted again here as well. Yeah, that's just high-level snowpack. I mean, I don't even know what would be out there at those heights. It just would exacerbate runoff and some avalanche concerns and stuff. But yeah, I mean, what is Lake Tahoe's elevation anyway? I forget. If anybody knows. I know Tonopah, Nevada is at about 6,000 feet out there. So I know the terrain is pretty high out here, but it's A lot of this really heavy snow is falling above, any kind of towns or anything for the most part. All right, so is Nilo still in the chat here? Somebody tell me if Nilo's still here. Nilo, are you still here? Any tornadoes in Fresno? I know there was tornado warnings earlier. They're done now, so you don't have to worry about it now. But that you can see that the end of that supercell there, it's going to moved off by Woodlake there and Weekend. That was the one that was causing all that crazy weather, the hail and the lightning and the tornado warnings. High res wind gust for the higher terrain here. Let's look at that. We'll just go to states. We'll just go to California here. We'll go to wind and we'll go to, first we'll do this. So you'll clearly see the storm coming in here. I mean, you're going to get bent back occlusion action out of this thing here. Look at this storm. Boom, right on the Central Bay coast. Powerful winds. That's why they have that high wind warning out for this area here, and that's the reason why. And you can see these big winds across the higher terrain here as well as you go on in through Wednesday morning. So let's look at gust swath in miles per hour. We'll do Central California. Yeah, and you're getting some gusts. Look at, they're showing up over 70 miles per hour here. So you're going to get some big gusts up here across Lake Tahoe. And that's probably where they're calling for that, those wave heights. And across some of the higher ridges, you're going to get some nasty gusts as well. Coastal areas, Sacramento, the valley out there. Nilo is here. Nilo's here. Should I just give Nilo the weather station? I'll wait and see what everybody says here. Nilo fund. All right. Reflect the Sun just threw $100 in there to the Nilo fund. I will buy a weather station for Nilo. If you email me Nilo, and I will give you the weather station. Okay, look at all the yeses, and the money's rolled in there. Yeah, okay. All right, so the full Kiro Nilo 38 is going to get a weather flow weather station. What's the Nilo dance? Put a little emoji dance in there, Nilo. Very fun. Weather station to Nilo. I think Nilo's looking in the fridge right now, though. He's grabbing a snack or something. Wendy Garish, thank you for the generosity. It's going to the Nilo weather station here. Nilo is here. Okay, email me, Nilo. Email me, and I will have that weather station shipped to you. You have to include your address in the email too, so I just can get it out as quick as possible. Nilo is still here. He's the full hero of the live streams. Yeah, look at Lake Tahoe, those wind gusts coming in here. Ensemble mean up into the 60s there. That's a big time storm coming in. Thank you, everybody. Nilo just got off work, you guys. Yeah, Reflect the Sun made it. Yeah, I'll just use that money and just we're giving a station to Nilo. We're gonna get him one. Yeah, we'll have Nilo send us a video of the install. Hopefully you have a nice place to put it, Nilo. The Nilo 2000. Oh, goodness. The live chats can be fun. Let's see. Let's go to San Francisco. Man, yeah, some mean gusts coming through San Francisco. That's going to happen like Tuesday morning. That wind is going to be blowing. Yes, severe drought conditions in California have been drastically reduced. That is correct. And they're probably going to get brought down even further after this. Totally redeemed yourself. All right. Nilo's getting his weather station for anybody just joining the chat here. It's happening. Yeah, it's tough to use the word drought when when everything is completely saturated. I admit that. If Nilo's in San Quentin right now, we'll set up a station at the prison. I don't think Nilo's in prison. Can you live chat from a jail? I wonder if that's possible. Yeah, the email is hard to find. I need to make that a little bit. Maybe I should just put it in the description every day. Yeah, we'll do another live stream like always, and we'll try to get Nilo back in here and tell us where he set it up. Truckee, Tahoe Airport. There's some wind coming in, you guys. That's another thing that's kind of getting lost in all this flooding. There is some brutal wind coming in here, and the ground is saturated, and that makes trees fall really easily. There's Mather. Look at that. Gusts up in the 50s. Sacramento. I'm trying to catch up on the chat a little bit here. Nilo. A lot of talk about Nilo. Thank you for the kind words, Drew. All right, Nilo will send us pictures. Awesome. Are you on Twitter, Nilo? Somebody get Nilo's Twitter handle. Put your Twitter handle on here. Yeah, we were looking at the drought monitor there for California here. And I don't know how far back you can go here, but let's do this. Let's go back to December 27. Look at that. There was exceptional drought, like the big time stuff. A lot of it across Central California. So we're going to do this. We're going to duplicate this page. And now, so I'm clicking back and forth here. It won't let me zoom in. I'll just zoom in like this. So if we click back and forth, I mean, look at that improvement. That's legendary improvement. It's got to be one of the all-time best drought recoveries ever. This is amazing. Because the exceptional drought is really bad stuff. And it's just gone. Nope, no Twitter. Nilo, yep. Well, I mean, you got to have standards. You got to respect a man who doesn't use Twitter. Yeah, Nilo would probably have thousands of followers if he did a Twitter account. And if some reason Nilo does not email us, then we're going to, we owe it to him now. Reflect the Sun has made sure that he's getting a station one way or another. So we're going to get it to him one way or another. Yeah, it's really something. I mean, that is just incredible. That was back on just before Halloween. I mean, even Nevada's improved quite a bit as well. Went from some pretty extreme or exceptional drought, extreme drought, sorry. And look at Washington's cleaned up nicely as well. I mean, look at that. Boom. No drought. Yeah, maybe. Are you on TikTok, Nilo? He's probably got millions of followers on TikTok. Yeah, it's great. That's awesome that it really erasing this drought. Now we just got to like put our energy towards erasing it for Eastern Oregon. Yeah, we need to fill up Lake Mead out there. Yeah, what's with Kansas? I mean, my goodness, that does not look good. I'm hoping that doesn't affect some of the tornado activity out there in the open farm fields out there. That does not look good. Colorado's not doing bad. Yes, that is true. Colorado's doing pretty good. I mean, the very light tan and the orange are not a big deal, but when you start getting to the red and the dark red, that's nasty stuff. That's pretty wicked drought. Yeah, Aaron Green's in the house here. Yeah, hopefully Kansas gets it in May there. Yeah, hopefully we get some nice setups here. No TikTok. The man's got standards. You got to like it. Yeah, there could be that wildflower bloom in Death Valley. It makes for some nice images down there. My grandparents are actually from Kansas. One of my great uncles was in prison in Leavenworth. I think he was a bootlegger or something. I'm not sure what he did exactly. Yeah, Reflect the Sun made it possible today. She donated some very nice amounts to the Nilo Fund. And we're going to get him a weather station. If you're just joining the chat here, Nilo does do YouTube. This is true. The timing on the storm here, let's look it up. In fact, we've got let's do the her here. What's going on? Okay, so let's back up. It's not letting me go. There we go. CKR, thanks for the generosity from northwestern Montana. Looks like you guys have a nice couple rounds of snowfall coming. My grandpa was a bootlegger in Montana, according to family lore. Jonathan Pulley, Nilo is getting his weather station. We had some very generous donations from Reflect the Sun and overwhelming popularity here on the page. He's going to get his weather station. So yeah, the main bulk of precipitation, I mean, the herd brings it in a little bit earlier, starting on Monday evening, and you can see the heavy amounts coming in. Tuesday morning, it's just going to be wild along the coastline here. I mean, these are going to be heavy precipitation, big winds all the way. This is going to encompass much of the state as you go on into Tuesday morning. I mean, look at that. Some impressive rates behind the main frontal system there as well. Atmospheric river trailing down across central and southern California in the wake. That's an impressive storm rolling in here, you guys. And if we look at surface wind, let's look at the cyclone itself. So this will give us a good idea of what it looks like on the HRRR. I haven't looked at the HRRR yet. This is the high resolution rapid refresh. Its strength is that it runs every hour. Just kind of gives you some new data to look at. But there comes that mid-latitude cyclone here. And you can see the pretty windy period here as it rolls on in through Tuesday morning, slamming the coast. Really big winds across some of the Sierra Nevada here, Lake Tahoe area. Sacramento gets some big gusts, Truckee, coastal region, especially hills 1,000 feet and above as you go inland. And wind gust swath, you can see that there, some pretty big gusts. So it's going to bring some wind, a lot of precipitation, as you guys know. Everything is saturated. Everything is going to be nuts as you go through Monday night into Tuesday. So Tuesday is the big day. That's when the big flooding is going to be going on, is during the day Tuesday night, and eventually down Wednesday morning through Southern California. Yeah, so I'll be chasing out in the plains quite a bit in April, May, and June, and I'll be doing briefings still. I'll bring my tablet with me, and I'm going to do the briefings normally. It just won't be as high quality, but I will be doing that, and then I'll be doing live streaming while I'm on the road and whatnot. So it's fun to just kind of have somebody to talk to. You guys can see what I'm seeing, and I'll try to do it a little bit more as storms are occurring now. A lot of times I've just kind of done it on the drive during the trip to the plains or whatever, or if I'm trying to get to a target, but I haven't been doing a lot of live streaming when the storm is actually going. So I want to do a little bit more live streaming when things are actually occurring and kind of a little bit more entertaining. Yeah, the NAM does start bringing in that range shield of just about, what is that, about 10? Yeah, then quite the tailing atmospheric river all the way down through Southern California there. This is 3-hour precip totals here on the European. Running 3-hour precipitation totals. So atmospheric river not here yet. There it comes off the coastline. And some pretty hefty amounts in 3 hours. So you can see well over an inch there for a lot of this time for some of the areas here. And I think we lose track once you get so much precipitation and things are flooding that an inch of rain is a large amount of precipitation. I mean, an inch of rain on an acre is over 27,000 gallons of water. Yeah, once you see your first supercell out in the plains, you might get hooked. So be careful. Yeah, that'd be fun too. Introducing the crowd to Reed or some of the chasers out there. That would be fun. Met Pico's Hank last year. He's got a good YouTube channel out there as well. He likes to share his severe weather experiences also with everybody. New subscriber here. Thank you very much. Yeah, and watch out if you're around trees out there too. Anywhere across California here, you got to be careful. That soil is saturated, and it really makes it easy to tip trees when you do that. That's like one of the number one concerns with saturated soils. Then you'd get big wind on top of it. Here, let's do that. Let's go to NAM 3KM. We're going to go back to that. We're going to go posit reflectivity. We're going to go back to the... So now we're comparing composite reflectivity between the NAM and itself. Not much of a change on that one there. Let's do this. How will that do? It's not going to work, is it? Nope. Let's do the European versus itself here. And we'll just do total precipitation amounts with that one. And the problem here, though, is that this takes into account the additional 6 hours there, so it's going to be higher. It looks like it did trend a little bit higher across some of the higher terrain in Southern California, maybe a little bit higher across some of the Sierra Nevada here also. But anyway, not much of a change. Nothing too noteworthy. Eucalyptus tree in Southern California, notorious for falling over in saturated soil. Yeah, that's not good. Yeah, there was a tornado yesterday reported in California. I didn't see actual images from it, though. Oh, yeah, Brad mentions that. We deal with some, we guide pilots through these thunderstorms at night, and sometimes when you're going past them and the plane's at 35,000 feet and the supercell's at 50, and it's a 50 miles away from you, it lights up like a Christmas tree. It's just going nuts. It's pretty impressive to see. Sometimes the pilots will message us saying the passengers on the right side are getting a very nice light show, for example. Maybe we can get them to send us more pictures. I don't know if that's legal, though. Flush Jackson, Pico's Hank. YouTube hurt his channel by roping him into those disaster videos. I'm not sure what that means exactly, but... Oh, latest GFS. Okay, let's look at GFS. And again, you can see the one on the right has an additional 6 hours of precip on it. But here goes the atmospheric river there. Let's see if it changed. I mean, that's really... Well, actually, no, it even uptrended. Look at Southern California, actually uptrended, even down towards the San Diego area, a little bit down here. A bit more across some of the LA metro as well. But yeah, fairly similar overall. I mean, this thing is locked in. This storm is on its way. There's going to be huge impacts. There's going to be impacts that we are not talking about right now because there's going to be levees breaking. There's going to be road closures, roads washed out. There's going to be entire communities that are going to be not able to return to their homes for some time. I know I've heard about like some reservoirs and drinking water for certain towns has been contaminated due to the flooding. And so that stuff's going to continue on here. Yeah, I like it better too. I just like watching people storm chase. It's really fun for me to watch the videos sometimes. If I'm like working out, sometimes I'll just watch tornado videos, for example. 208 Outdoors, welcome to basic channel support. Tornado sounded like a freight train. Yeah, if you're close enough to one of them, it's pretty crazy. The East Coast, I'm not sure yet. I've been so caught up in the West Coast weather here that I don't even know what's going on. I'm usually a little bit better prepared. We can do this though. Take one quick look at things here and we'll back out. Yeah, chickens will take care of termites if they can get access to them, that's for sure. So here's the new GFS. Let's see. I know there's some pretty cold air headed for the east, but I've not been paying that much attention. So let's do so a little bit here. 18Z. So here we go. There goes the system moving through. Yeah, pretty strong storm. It's going to continue on up through the Great Lakes. Check that out. Nice front moving through there. Looks like it's going to get pretty chilly behind that front there. That's something right here. Looks like maybe a nor'easter coming here for the East Coast. That's still a ways out there though, but I'm sure there's probably plenty of chatter on social media about it. Anytime you get any kind of a hint of a nor'easter, there's millions of people out there, so it usually just goes completely nuts on Twitter. So that's probably going to be trending here over the next few days. And this is kind of interesting too. As you can see, this trough kind of digs out off the West Coast and brings another fairly strong storm down through California there. And maybe continues on active. Who knows? We'll see what that happens at the end of March. Plenty of time to look at that stuff. Yeah, I'd like to see a water spout in the Puget Sound too. But yeah, you can see that hit in California. There it is. Basically a lock right now. It is coming. Hopefully it's just a little bit, it's not as bad as we think it could be here. And check out these storms just bombarding the Pacific Northwest too. I mean, we get a little bit of a break here as we go Thursday, Friday, and other systems bearing down on us, kind of falling apart. But then another system up towards western BC. And look at this deep low here. I mean, look at that thing. 969 millibar low kind of spinning off our coastline there. Maybe that'll bring us a coastal tornado there across Pacific Northwest. Yeah, fun stuff. 208. Thank you very much for the kind words. I wasn't paying attention too much to what Noah was saying about the extended stuff going on in through the California, but I assumed that it was a probabilistic forecast there with La Nina, and La Nina winters tend not to bring a lot of precipitation in California, so they're probably just basing long-term forecast off that, which would not look good compared to what happened. So yeah. But anyway, okay, guys. Yeah, I've been on here for over an hour and a half. So I'm going to sign off here. I'm going to get to my emails. I'm going to get to Nilo's weather station, and I will get that sent out to him. Thanks, Reflect the Sun, for the Nilo fund. And I'm hoping that there's an email in my inbox here from him. But I'm going to sign off here now, and we'll do another live stream when it warrants. Maybe if things are crazy tomorrow, maybe I can do another one tomorrow night. We'll see how it goes, and possibly tomorrow. But I'll do the regular briefings tomorrow morning as always. And yeah, but otherwise, thanks for stopping by, everybody. Another fun chat with you all. Very positive, very good time, good crowd, good sense of humor here. Enjoy it very much. So I will get Nilo his weather station. And if not, then we will bug him again in the next round, possibly tomorrow here. So anyway, yeah, so I'll talk to you guys tomorrow morning.